What else we have? I know on this side.
Okay, we have a 1932 Ford, and we're doing this for Phil Sparandino. He's a dentist in New York. He's one of my great friends and one of my long-term customers. I'm taking this car, and we're making a ZZ Top Eliminator replica, except we're going to jump it up into the 21st century. I'm going to tweak the Z's a little bit. We're jumping all the colors up with pearl. The stripes, in the yellow part of the stripe is going to be my yellow that I invented. I call it Superfly Yellow. And it's just going to be a lot more outrageous than the original ZZ Top Eliminator car. It's going to be just a lot more modern. Power steering, power brakes, air conditioning, you name it. The car is going to be a modern car and on a replica chassis. But nobody cares about that. He's going to drive it every day. Yeah, he's going to drive it every day. So you can't get too overboard crazy with a driver. But nobody will know it'll win any show it goes to.
And it's all what everybody wants, right?
That's right. You give people what they want. And like I always tell people is, we make your dreams into reality.
And in the shop now, you're doing the other half of the project on this.
Yes, we have the...
And this thing is wild.
The Bombardier is in the middle spray booth, which, like I said before, I contain all the dust. And I can weld in these rooms, I can cut metal, and it doesn't destroy the rest of the cars. That dust is highly toxic, and as well as it can damage clear coats and all of that stuff. You just don't want the grinding, the metal dust and all the grindings that you grind off an older vehicle, especially this one or anyone, to get on your paint job.
And the sound of this thing was unbelievable.
Yeah, it runs pretty good.
And we have a short video of that as you were removing it, and man, it sounded nasty.
Yeah, it's pretty mean. When you're standing behind it, that fan will blow you right over. So I'm looking forward to getting the body for the mini truck on it, and we will see this in some future video. I don't know if it'll be done this winter, but it will be done.
And we're looking forward to seeing it.
Thank you. It's going to be a fun project for me. I always enjoy things that are different and new. And anything that's new to me, it's a learning process with all of it. When I got this thing, it didn't run. I got it running. And now I know a lot about how it works and what it's capable of doing. I took it for a ride through the field. It was pretty awesome. It's really a great machine and just a lot of fun. It's an antique 1949 SNOWCAT.
And you're always inventing stuff. I mean, you were doing convertibles on Corvettes in what, the 70s?
In 1984, 80s? I invented the top mechanism for the Corvettes. Chevrolet did not offer a convertible Corvette, and everybody wanted them. I think we did over 200 cars back in 1984, 85, and 86, while simultaneously building the cars for Miami Vice. Mm-hmm. And I had a couple of guys working with me then. I work by myself now, but I was younger and we were bigger. That's all I can say about that. But we still had fun.
And you were showing us the book of all the projects that you did, and those were some amazing projects that you did, and your collection of work is very impressive. Your resume is very impressive.
Well, thank you, Kyle. I appreciate that. It was a long process. It's 48 years coming up. Okay, this is our machine shop / turned into a break room. My wife Annette wanted the checkered floor, and a friend of mine gave me that refrigerator for the shop. It was a donation. I just painted it. It's a 1938 General Electric refrigerator, which it was all white before I painted the. Actually, it's torch red for Corvette red. It's also the exact color for Snap-on tools. And I like stuff that matches and looks nice, but this is a working room, and then when we get our break, we take it in here.
This really is a neat room that you don't see a lot of in other shops, which makes it that much more unique as well.
Yeah, I keep all the tools in here, the roll-around carts. In fact, this one cart here, I can move it anywhere in the shop and basically disassemble any car or reassemble it. Every tool that you need is in this one box. The second box here is for my frame equipment. All the clamps and tie downs. I have a floor system out there so it doesn't get in the way. And when you pull these carts out to it, there's not a lot of walking around looking for tools. So it's a more efficient way of doing it. You have more time working on the vehicle versus hunting for tools. And that's another thing about keeping a shop clean and organized. You're not, especially when you charge people by the hour, you don't want them to be paying you to look for tools.
That's a really good point.
Yeah, it's basically theft. If you don't have the stuff, right at your access when you're working on something, it's not fair to your customers. So this does speed up the work. It makes the work more enjoyable, and you're giving your customer your best time and your best work.
Very efficient.
Yes, thank you. Now these are my magazine covers. I have 4 covers. I've been featured in many magazines, but these are the 4 covers that I have. That's Auto Restorer, where my Charger was on that one. And then I have Kit Car Magazine, which was my first cover with a Chrome Illusion Lamborghini replica.
And that was probably the time where you didn't even see much of that chrome paint job.
Yeah, that's when Chrome Illusion first came out. And I did that one. It won 2nd place at the Carlisle Kit Car Show. And there was a lot of nice cars there, so 2nd place was pretty good. And then I have another Kit Car cover, and the guy, I painted the car, and the guy who owned it, he wrote his own article, but I didn't paint it for him. I painted it for another builder. So it was nice. They didn't know it was me, but it still made cover. And then the 4th cover is Kit Car Builder magazine, and it's the red Lamborghini Countach on the top of that front cover. And they did mention me in that article. It was the same builder. Exotic Illusions is the builder of those 2 cars. I just finished them.
The other day when we were talking how hard it is for a builder to get on the cover of these magazines, and you have 4.
Yes, for any painter to get a magazine cover, it's a 1 in 100,000 chance. So to have 4 of them is quite an honor, and I'm pretty proud of it, and it was a lot of work to get there. But if you care about what you do, you care about quality and making sure people get their money's worth and get the car they desire and have wanted their whole life, there's no better feeling.
And you were really blessed at an early age of knowing exactly what you wanted to do since
yes.
I think it was 6, 7 years old.
Yes, I was 7 years old, Kyle. And I was playing cars in the front yard of my friend, and his father pulled a 1962 Chevy out of his garage, and there was newspapers all over the window, right? And he put it back in the garage. The next day I was there again, and he backed out the car was white, and then he backed out this beautiful black 62 Chevy, and I said, I'm gonna do that. It was that quick, and then I became obsessed with painting, and I wanted to know how to do that because I was so impressed with what the guy did. It was just amazing. That happened to me over in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. That's where I was actually born.
And then later on, you were, I think, 18, you were saying, and you got fired for doing better work than your boss or something at the shop that you worked at.
Yeah, I was working for a guy part-time, and I was only doing body work. That's all he would let me do because I was so young. He had no idea of my painting abilities, and I told him I could paint, but sometimes a shop owner doesn't want someone to paint a car if he really doesn't know. So they're a little afraid of just letting a kid get behind a spray gun. So I asked him if I could paint my brother's car on a Saturday and then pick it up Sunday before work Monday. And he said, yeah, sure. So I painted my brother's 66 Buick. I painted it black with a polyurethane. It was called Flint 2 at the time. And the next day I was unwrapping it, and one of the owner of the shop's friends was there, and he says, you gotta let that kid paint, Rex. He's better than you. So the next day I went into work, and I was fired.
So it just goes
to show. It was a funny story.
Keep dreaming and keep having those goals because you never know. And look at where Ed's at now from being fired at the shop he used to work for.
Yeah, it was, I think like 25 years later, I had the Body Shop Association meetings at my shop, and my shop is 24,000 square feet. And in walks the guy from the shop, and he said to me, he says, I thought this was you.
Little karma?
A little bit. It felt pretty good. There was never any hard feelings. I've never been that way. I just do what I do.
Great way to be.
Yeah, if you let that little stuff bother you, you'll just have a bunch of stuff bothering you. Just got to keep on moving on, and keep working, keep building cars.
So now we are in the office portion of your building and of your place, and obviously this is much more than an office as you start to look around a little bit.
Yeah, I have a couple antiques that I've done. I think I did them back in the 90s. That's a 1955 Tokym Texaco gas pump. And they're kind of nice when they're done to have them around. Actually, it's just a lamp now, so you can light those up.
And a lot of these go to the auctions. They're at Mecum, before the cars start rolling. They run a lot of this memorabilia stuff because it is neat to see. You don't see a lot of this stuff anymore, and what better place to have this than in an office like this or a complex like this? It fits in perfect.
Yeah, this stuff from the 50s was the best stuff ever made, and it's very popular. It's very stylish and brings back a lot of good memories for people. Those were good times. This is a 1956 Coca-Cola cooler. It does work, but I use it to house all of my photographs from all the cars I've built. You can go ahead and click that.
Just want to get the background.
But inside I have pictures of all the cars that I've done, not all of them, but quite a few. I'm in this calendar. I've got a Corvette in here somewhere. I won in 2013, I won one of 12 spots in the Matrix Calendar Contest. That's a 63 Corvette that I restored here and customized for a customer. And my paint supplier urged me to send the photos into the manufacturer and see what happens. And sure enough, I won one of 12 first places. There was only first place because first place is in the calendar.
A lot of our younger guys and younger crowd won't even remember some of these pictures. They're so used to having everything on the phone.
Yeah, I go pretty far back. There's probably, oh God, 8,000 pictures in this little case here. But this is my other calendar contest win right here on the wall. That was DuPont Hot Hues calendar contest. I won it with that SSR pickup back in, I think, 2004. So that's pretty rare to get one calendar contest, but let alone two, within a 10-year period. It was pretty good.
Absolutely.
And I keep my calendars in here on the walls as well. It is a great achievement. I'm very proud of the cars that I put out, and it's great to see them on the magazine covers. No other feeling. It's just really great.